B-A-T. It's in the name.
Welcome into the Helping Healing Humor podcast with Ben and Travis. We are in West Virginia.
Almost heaven.
Awesome. Yes, there you go. And so we're going to have a conversation with three of our favorite people in the state of West Virginia in Parkersburg.
Are they here?
And
Where they at?
When do they get here?
And we will have that right after these messages. This episode of the Helping Healing Humor podcast with Ben and Travis is brought to you by the Always Endure Slawburger Chase 5K and 10K on Saturday, April 15, starting at the Bank of Lincoln County in Fayetteville, Tennessee at 8 a.m. By registering, you are supporting the mission of Always Endure to remove financial barriers for adoptive families, barriers to care for patients enduring major medical diagnosis, and barriers to placement for children in foster care. You can register at alwaysendure.com by clicking on the Events tab at the top of the page. I'm Travis Creasy. That's All-Pro Counselor Ben Hayes.
What's happening?
And as promised, we are in West Virginia. We're going to talk to three awesome dudes that we get to hang out with, and one who actually lets us stay on the premises at his home. So that'll be great. We'll start with...
He's a brave soul.
He is a brave soul. CJ, how's it going?
Good, man. Good.
Awesome. And we got Kevin over there.
Kevin and CJ.
CJ
and Kevin.
Kevin and CJ.
And they're kind of like their Will, like their Will Mahan of our group. They got Josh.
He may be Will and Bryce
of the
together.
operation.
Yes. Bryce. He'd be a blend. So he puts their videos together. So glad to have you.
Good to be here.
And so we're in town for the second year in a row. Last year we were with Skits with the Truth, SWAT. You may recognize, those of you watching the video, you may recognize the background because we recorded it right here in CJ's own personal studio. That's what it's here for, right?
Yes.
And so they're all youth deacons, correct?
Yep.
At North End Church of Christ in Parkersburg, West Virginia. And we've been with them, as I said, this weekend for their youth rally. And we've been doing our Helping Healing Humor mental health workshop stuff that they invited Ben a few years ago. And then as per usual, I just say, hey, I'll come too, if you'll put up with me.
Not exactly how that went.
You invited yourself this time.
So I appreciate
He liked it so much. He was like, hey, I think I'll
go back with you.
It's the pepperoni rolls.
The pepperoni rolls are brought them back.
Mr.
B's.
So as I mentioned, you guys have an approach to youth ministry. You do not have an official youth minister.
That's correct.
But you guys have, is it three? It's four.
Four.
Youth deacons.
Mm-hmm.
And I can speak on my behalf. I don't know what Ben thinks, but you guys do a great job. I've been here twice, and it seems like it's really well supported by the community. You have a lot of kids who come, and today it was kind of all one-day classes, and they were so attentive. They were so engaged in comparison to a lot of places.
I wanted to actually
been.
go join your classes.
Yeah.
So, I was like, wouldn't it be weird if I was like, hey, I want to go.
Yeah.
Not really?
But,
yeah.
So we did like 3 keynotes. We did some game sessions, and then we did 2 classes. I did a class, and Travis did a class. Then we swapped the kids that were in there and did those again. But you guys had it set up really great. I thought good, appropriate amount of classes with some fun stuff to keep everybody awake. I thought it went really good.
I did too.
It was a good mix. We got to slow them down a little bit and then speed them up. Slow them down and speed them up. You can't put it all together or you'll lose them. And we learned 45 minutes in a class isn't bad, but 45 minutes in a keynote, you lose them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you got to have a balance. You got to play it.
So how long have you guys been doing the youth rally here?
That's a question I'm not prepared for.
Math carried the 2 over the 1. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I know. I want to say this was the 13th year.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. I was going to say 12 or 13.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have that information just not in front of me.
Oh.
I've been heading it up for the last 10, and we had done it 2 or 3 years prior to that. So
it's awesome. So probably in that time, you guys have learned some of the things that work and some of the things that don't.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. We talked earlier about timing. We tried it in February, March, and April. We had the best success in March, and that still fluctuates, but we had the best success in March, so we stuck with March, and we've done that for many years now. And like I say, the balance of doing what and when and how long, you definitely learn a lot of tricks there as far as what to involve and who to involve and how long to involve. And
I think it's important that they just get them up and active and moving around, where they're just not sitting in one place all day long for youth rally.
Yeah.
We usually do a Friday evening where we do, a keynote, and then we do like a bonfire, and we do a mixer.
That's
that,
nice fun.
And really, the kids really that don't know each other, gives them a really good chance to interact, meet each other, and you go to my school, and really get to know one another in that aspect. It's a more of a social kind of thing, social atmosphere.
Yes.
It'd been great if your speakers would have complied with you and done that. Been here for Friday night this year, but
I kind of liked all the one day though, because there were some people when we had it on Friday, they would travel from far away just for Friday, but then they wouldn't come back Saturday for the major event.
Vice versa, some would come Saturday, they couldn't make it Friday.
Yeah, that's what we thought. That's why we.
Yeah, that's why we did that. We were just kind of trying to streamline you guys.
Yeah.
You guys that
You
don't
came up
know,
with that idea for
I
us.
had to go to a retirement thing that my brother did. I didn't have to go, but I chose to go. Yeah, I got to go, and Travis went
Another
with me.
one of those. Hey,
So
I'll
we
go
did.
too.
We did road trip all the way down to Warner Robins, Georgia, and then on Friday drove the rest of the way up here. Got here last night about 1 o'clock in the morning.
It was this morning, really.
So got here 1 o'clock in the morning, and then woke up and did the youth rally. But we're really blessed that we got to be here, and thank you guys for kind of being good to work with and easy to work with on that. So
That's what it's about.
We've been blessed to have you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was fantastic.
We're all working together for one common goal. So
Yeah, and that brings us. I wanted to bring up what we were talking about. You kind of have a different approach. You don't have a youth minister. Obviously, we're not promoting any one approach over the other. It's whatever works. It's about the kids, right? Reaching them. And youth ministers are great and they're awesome, and I get to hang around with them. So there's different techniques, different approaches, and you guys, as I mentioned, there's 4 youth deacons, and so first of all, that tells us it's a priority.
Yep.
It's important to your church, and I think that what comes with that, some of the positives, and we'll let you guys unpack that a little bit. But one of the first things I think of is more than likely they can connect with one of you. And if not you, your wives, right?
That's exactly.
And so there's a lot of variety there. I think that, I've been in places at Riverside, there are people who they love them some Coach Creasy, and then there's some that are like, I take or leave that guy. And so, if you've got 4 and then plus their spouses, that seems like there's probably somebody there that they can probably connect to. But you guys can speak to
And we
maybe
used to
some other
have,
positives.
we used to have youth ministers. Like we had youth ministers for years.
And it's not saying we won't again.
And
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
we're not saying we won't have one again. It was just kind of like a youth minister, just having one person to take the responsibility of all of that.
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot just for 4 guys to actually do it.
In our church size, we've never had like a full-time youth minister, right?
Yeah.
They were just a youth minister, but they had a full-time job.
They had
and so it's
that really is a lot.
right.
Yeah.
And that's a
So
lot for
they're
one
having
person
to
to really
Go to
take
work
on
and trying to deal with.
and really take on the younger kids and the older kids. I mean, it was just a lot, and things would slip through the crack. And we saw that not just with one youth minister, but several youth ministers that did that. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
Well, in order for them to understand youth well, they need to have their own youth. So by the time, like Kevin said, the time they have a job, they have kids, they got a wife, there's a lot going on in their house to try to devote time to your kids. So, like you said, there's a lot of pros and cons to it both ways. But with 4 of us, we can kind of divide and conquer. And with deacons, your kids are in the youth group as well. So, Kevin's kids are in it, my kids are in it, Josh's kids are in it, John's kids are in it. They're all in it. And like you hit on a little bit, there's some things that, Josh's kids aren't going to want to go talk to Josh about, but they might want to talk to Kevin and I about it. Yeah. I've been on calls or text with at least one of Josh's kids late at night, and and they don't know that, and that's okay. And it's nothing we were hiding from them, but it's a relationship thing, and they don't want to talk to their parents all the time, and that's fine. My kids get a little older. If they want to talk to one of these guys, that's good. That's great with me. I trust these guys, and I know they wouldn't say or do anything that I wouldn't be okay with, so that's good. If it helps my kids, I'm great with it.
And personalities are different,
Sure.
and so I've seen guys that, are a youth minister who, really is, does well with one group of kids because he does the things those kids like. And that's great. And then you have some that try to do all of it. And then every now and then you got this guy across town at another church who kind of, caters a little bit more to a different group of people. And the kids tend to gravitate. And that's fine. I mean, as a youth minister, there were times I told kids, that's where you need to be. If that's where you fit in, if that's the thing that works for you, then that's where you need to be. But you guys kind of have something where, you have different personalities working with the group. If they're scared of CJ and Kevin, they can come to you.
Right.
So if there's just some things that they go, this just doesn't connect. I don't connect with them on this level. Then hopefully, somebody within that team is able to do so. Or like you said, their wives.
Kevin and I talked the other day. My wife has made the comment to me in the past that I interact better with the teens at church than I do with my kids as far as teaching them about God and teaching them about relationships. She's not wrong. For once, she's not wrong. But,
for once.
Yeah.
She must not listen.
She's not going to listen to this podcast. So,
hey, you can cut that part out.
Not God, but I could.
Yeah. But, I build relationships with those kids. And honestly, I have known those kids longer than I've known my kids. So, you're right. Different personalities mix different with different kids. And, I love my kids, and I'm obviously going to do everything I can to help them. But relationships and personalities are different. And you made the comment about the wives. I mean, that's something we push. Just when we were down at CYC a couple weeks ago, we start off the first night we had our first Devo. We make sure and make the conversation, hey, we're here for you all. This is about you all. We have taken time from our families and our homes to be here for you all. And, we want to help you in however we can. And we're all together all weekend long. If there's any point you want to grab one of us one-on-one and talk, if you don't want to do something in front of the group, then that's fine. But not just us. Talk to our wives. If you're a girl and you want to talk about something's going on in your life and you don't feel like talking to a 40-year-old guy, I don't blame you. Talk to my wife. She's here. Yeah. All 4 of our wives were down there in CYC at Tennessee with us all weekend long. So that's and oddly enough, you tend to have more girls in a church than you do guys. We do in our youth. So it's important to have the wives there and have them involved to have that relationships as well.
I think one thing that's cool, and Kevin, you might speak to this, y'all seem to have a lot of good chemistry together, working together. I know there are problems, obstacles that come up, but to me as a teenager, that would be really impressive to me to see you guys kind of on the same page and also willing to be goofballs. That scores good with Ben and Travis.
The kids see us all the time interacting, goofing off with each other. We're comfortable with each other, and we take that energy and we take it to the kids too. We'll goof off with the kids after church or something like that, and always fist bump and all that stuff. And the kids really see that, see other people doing it, and they'll come up, hey, and a couple of special needs kids, they'll come up and really enjoy that with it too, and give hugs. So they really see us doing it, and they want to be a part of that, and we really enjoy doing that and interacting with kids in that aspect.
Well, we've talked about a long time, several times on the podcast that as a counselor, there's all sorts of different techniques and theories and things that people throw out there for counseling, like this technique or this type of theory, behavioral therapy works better, or this one works better, or this one works better. And, you think about youth ministry, here's this person who has this certain way of doing things, or this certain way, or this certain way. And that's fine to have your certain direction that you do. But what we found in counseling is the most important part of all that is the relationship. Yeah. It really doesn't matter which technique you use. All the techniques have some great things, or all the theories have some great things in them, and you can incorporate different ones. It's the same thing with youth ministry. I believe youth ministry in general, and just the church in general, is about the relationships. I think there's those commercials at one time about adoption, and they were about all the goofy things that parents do and how they embarrass their kids. And sometimes we don't do it perfectly, but it's about the relationship, as long as you can keep that relationship. And so, I think that's the beautiful part about it, is you guys have a relationship. You guys are doing what you can to just connect with them. And we're not going to do it perfectly because we're old and we don't understand always how to connect the way. But there's an appreciation to, hey, somebody's talking to me. we have a guy at church that does generational workshops, and so he goes to churches and he'll get an 80-year-old person on stage with a teenager. And one of the things that they went through, one of the times on that was the teenagers were saying, well, the older people don't talk to us, and the older people were saying the teenagers don't talk to us. Yeah. It's like y'all are both wanting to talk to each other. Somebody's got to break the ice. Right. It's about just doing it. It may feel uncomfortable. It may seem weird, but it's about connecting.
I'll tell you one of the things we do, and we haven't done it for a couple of years with COVID, obviously, but we have what we call a widowers dinner. Yeah. Where our teens serve the widows, and they sit with each other and they talk, and the widowers, they talk about that for weeks and weeks. How much fun they had and how much special it was, and the kids said, "Oh yeah, I learned a little bit about this person and that person and stuff." But the impact really is on the widowers and the things they remember about that and what it really means to them.
And that's one thing that we actually do. We get people from the congregation volunteer, open up their home to invite the youth into, and we have because they want to get to know them as well, right? Because they've seen the relationship that we have with them. They're like, "Hey, I'd like to get in with that crowd as well." You know what I mean? They have a good time. Just like this year was the first year we got some of our kids in some of our videos. Yeah, they saw Kevin and CJ making fools of themselves, and a few years ago we couldn't have got them to actually be in the video. They're like, "No way, I'm not going to be in a video." But they, as you guys know, our videos got a little bit better, and then this year we had how many people? We had four people in there. And they had a good time with it.
Which I don't know. I'm speaking for you guys, but I like that. Sometimes, and I'm sure you guys see it, we do these videos where we think it's hilarious. Yeah. And another time, and we do the video, and people laugh when we think they should, and we're like, "Man, what happened there?"
Then they laugh when it's like, "That wasn't funny."
Yeah, they laugh when you think. Yeah. But the fact that they want to do it, and look forward to it, it tells us they are getting it, they are enjoying it. Yeah. So that is good.
We've had a couple of situations there's some kids that have been in ours several times. Right. Y'all probably recognize and seen them grow up. So my kids have grown up in the videos, and so this year somebody didn't get to come, and they were bummed. They're like, "I didn't get to be in the videos for CYC." And she was like, "Well, you got to show up on the day that we're doing it."
That's going to be the deal with my kids, I'm sure, from here on out for you guys. Guaranteed.
Oh yeah. The Heritage Christian University question of the day: we need your favorite CJ and Kevin video or moment. And then if you do us a favor, which Ben and Travis video might be your favorite?
There were some good ones.
So think about that, and I'll talk a little bit about the videos this year that you guys did, which awesome. Man, I was rolling. Some of them were nods, and that just warms my heart. That's really cool because I love the Easter eggs when you can drop them in there, and nobody else gets them, right? Nobody else gets them, and I've done a couple throughout all the videos we've done, from Titus Camp to Challenge Youth Conference, and so I appreciate that, obviously. But the one I think that sticks out to me this year from you guys is the one where you're sitting in the doctor's office, and Kevin is catching everything. The person sits next to him; he's catching everything to do it. So you're going through the sickness. Somebody comes in, it's got the dots all over him, and he starts itching, and then the I don't know if I'm giving away the best part or not, but a woman who's expecting comes in, and he's like, "What?" He's out of here. Yeah. So I just love that.
I was worried about how comedy, that was come together. I was really worried about that one when I recorded. I was like, "Man, I'm not feeling this one. I'm not feeling this one." Yeah. But then when I got it home and put it together, I was like, "Okay, this is going to work."
So you realize that was Josh's wife, right? And she's not pregnant?
There's a funny story behind this.
I wasn't
that was
sure.
My wife.
Yeah, I was kind of like, whoa.
So she actually was at the youth rally today, just on screen, and her body was in Panama.
Yeah. She's in Mississippi. So Mandy's dad is Randy that was here. He's one of our elders as well. Yeah. And so we were shooting that, and she's all dressed up to be pregnant. And we needed something out of one of the other rooms, and she didn't realize that the elders were having a meeting in that room. The door always stays shut. Yeah. So she just opens the door, and in walks pregnant Mandy, here I am,
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And the elders
are sitting there.
Yeah.
That's great.
And she just got what she needed and left. Didn't even tell them what was going on.
Didn't say anything.
She come back in rolling, laughing about it. But she did a really good job. She hadn't done any of the videos, but when Kevin gets up to run out. I'm losing it. I mean,
oh, that was great.
funny.
Yeah.
When I was back there
Did
behind the camera,
Did it
going,
freeze
"Yes,
on purpose?
Yeah, he
today?
froze
I
on
did that
purpose.
Okay,
purpose
well, I
today.
thought it was, but then when it started back in,
Yeah.
I thought it was going to end like a
He
Dukes
froze
of
on
Hazzard.
purpose.
Yeah.
You know, like the freeze. You know, but then
I
he took
added
off
that touch to it
That was
last night.
great.
That was last minute.
That was the last-
I
he
sent
sent
it
me
to
that same
Kevin,
video. It was
and I
like 4
what do
seconds.
You know, it's the details.
Yeah.
It's the
It's the
details. It's a little
details.
I was like,
He-
I need something right there at the end to give it that.
I
bang.
told Natalie, I said, he just sent us the same video, but it's 4 seconds longer. There's something added. And I got clear to the end. I was like, he
There
froze it
was.
for 4
Yes.
seconds right
Yeah,
here.
Yes.
yeah, it's
Perfect.
awesome.
But you see,
love
I'm
the
losing
freeze.
it. Mandy was composing
I was
herself.
trying to get
but
Kevin's face.
I
because
was
he had a
done.
goofy face, and I just couldn't. That was the best.
that-
Josh
I
has gotten
was
really
left.
good at editing.
Yeah.
Man.
When we sit down and one of us is messed up,
All the difference.
it makes we get to laugh at each other, and so we have to take the same scene over and over. And Josh sometimes can't split the scene, but his editing techniques really makes us look good.
So I don't know if y'all remember the scene in one of our videos a long time ago where I'm typing on Travis's lap
Oh,
and
yes.
I'm looking up
Yes.
at the
Ancient.
computer.
Yeah.
It's old. It's an
Yeah.
old one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how many takes that one took because
We
I'm
were all
staring
done.
at his face and he's staring at me like this. And I'm going,
I lean in.
I remember that one.
and
That was a good
I
one.
could not
Yeah.
compose myself during that. I don't know how we ever got that one filmed. So I feel your pain.
That's happened
I know
several times.
exactly
Yeah,
Where
what
they
you're
just
talking
sit there and laugh
Yeah.
at each other.
Yeah.
Especially the one where 2020 vision.
Yeah.
When you had all those goofy glasses on.
That
you
was
were
probably
having to-
my-
You were having to stare CJ right in the
Yeah.
face, and CJ
He
couldn't
can keep
do
a
it.
straight.
I
He couldn't
could,
keep a
yeah.
straight face.
That was when we learned a lot about shooting him and then shooting me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
versus
don't try to do it
posting
all
the-
over.
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
all
man.
Yeah.
So those pan
yeah,
thing
yes.
works a whole
So
lot.
the first video, today we did 3 videos for one day. The first one we did was one long one.
Total big long story.
Yeah, basically a big long story rather than cutting it and doing it in sections. I don't know, am I getting ahead? But that was probably my favorite.
No, go
It was
ahead.
our maiden voyage, and if you notice, there's kind of a theme. At some point, Kevin always gets hit in the head.
Yeah.
You know,
Pretty much in every one of our videos.
so-
Kevin
Still
gets
He
in
doesn't
the
think
head.
that's funny. I saw his face like
Every time.
Yeah. And so that happened several times. It just so happened we had to retake that several times that first year.
Yeah.
They kept
And-
messing up
yeah.
on accident.
Yeah,
Well,
the whack.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's unfortunate.
And
Got to do
we-
it again.
We actually, Kevin and I actually had this idea. We used to try to do all stuff live, and that's a terrible
We
idea.
can't do.
We
live
can't
now.
do it all live. So we were like, man,
some
we
of
oughta-
us have trouble remembering our lines and play.
You act like you're innocent here.
but some of us.
So we asked, we knew Josh would be good at this. We're like, hey man, when you shoot some videos, we just figured on him showing up with his phone and just videoing a little bit of us. And he shows up with like 3 tripods and he's borrowing phones and setting them
That's
up here,
awesome.
and
All
setting
different
them up there.
angles.
Yeah.
And we're like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
But literally, like later that night, he's sending us a video. We're like, whoa, where'd this come from?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
we know that feeling.
Well,
Bryce.
I love the one today. I mean, I thought the one today of you trying to get to the building, and it was
Yeah.
kind of like you were live, you were on the
Yeah.
call, and
Yeah.
you were trying to get to the building.
Mixing
And
it all. Yeah.
when you pull into the donut place, that's the best part.
I'm in a hurry to get there. There's always time for
Gotta
donuts.
get
man.
get my
Yeah.
Diet Coke.
then stops at the gas station, get
Yeah.
a Diet Coke, And that was a great one. So
Yeah.
Help the old lady across the street
yes,
run out of gas.
somebody's old lady.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we're treading. We're
Yeah.
treading.
Yeah.
We're treading.
His
We're
wife's not
treading.
gonna watch
Yeah.
now either. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair,
We're
she was
treading.
dressed up like an old
treading.
lady.
Yeah.
So
We're treading.
yeah,
Um,
that's good stuff.
But honestly, I mean, talking about the favorite videos, that one seemed to be my favorite. I mean, just the comedy in that, and I had a lot of fun.
Which one?
Making that what the
Just
intro
the
today,
sped up thing.
the sped
you know,
up
it was
thing
great.
where
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
coming
that
in
one was
and
good.
yeah, we had a good time making that one.
So the 2020 Vision's probably my favorite video, just because how it all came together when we were in the doctor's office, and we wanted him to actually play the doctor, and he came in and he wasn't all about that. So that's when I got to play the doctor.
there you go. Get on screen.
but he
that
just
was
let
his
us-
first time in the
Yeah.
in a
Yes.
video.
Yeah.
He
in front
just
of
let us
camera.
use whatever we wanted, and he'd come up with new ideas. Here, try this, try that, and just Kevin being goofy. And I just said, all right, just start doing different things. And I was just panning back and forth to each of them, and we had it done in like 2 minutes. And I was like, dude, I think we got it.
That's awesome.
And when I sent that to them, they were just like, oh man, this is gonna be perfect.
Turned out really good.
Money.
Yeah.
Money.
Not to say that this year's videos weren't good, but I thought all the videos
they're-
today.
I
just
thought it was really neat
came
this year
together.
for our last video that you hear Bryce's voice
Yeah.
at the end of the video. Like he's never been in any of them, I don't think.
I don't think
but
so.
But you hear him at the end go, "Oh, that's good. That's a good take. That's
We're
good."
gonna keep that. Yeah, so.
It's pretty neat. So we always want to get for the folks editing because that's putting in the work.
Yes.
Putting in the work. But,
Yep, I'm usually the one that does
The
that.
real heroes.
I say
That gets
action.
Yeah.
I'm always cutting out my action. I'm always worried I'm going to cut myself out saying action right at the beginning of the video.
Yeah, that's true.
So I guess you may not have a favorite Ben and Travis video, but what got you guys going? Hey, we can do that, and we can do it better.
Number one, that has never crossed our mind whatsoever. Never, ever has that words come out.
I'm
We
a
can do
fan
it
of
better.
the lift up thine eyelids.
I mean,
I'm a
that-
fan of
that
Got a
was a
little
good
nod
one.
today.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
yeah. I wouldn't call it my favorite, but you all did the deal this year, basically the time blowing video where you just bouncing the ball back and forth in the hallway. You know,
Of course,
I was really
that's
amused
awesome.
by that.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I really was. I mean, like
That's awesome.
watching your all's different reactions, and you'd throw it and throw him off, and then you'd laugh at him. I mean,
That was all Bryce because
Yeah,
I was doing that for if you'll notice in the Bible video, I'm the one bouncing the
Yeah.
ball. And he's like, "I got an idea. You guys just keep bouncing the ball at each other," and we're like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So it got kind of
Yeah.
awkward there
He's
for
like,
a
I
while.
think this will be a countdown video.
Yeah.
What?
So he'll be happy.
You guys talked about this earlier, like the things that you think they're going to laugh at, they don't laugh at.
Yes.
And I mean, we're the same way, and we settled
It's
a
gonna
long
kill.
time ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Echo.
Yeah.
We have said
Yeah.
this for years. Like, we're entertained by it, so it
Yeah.
really doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
right,
you know,
right. That's true.
we entertain ourselves with it, and if
Yeah.
someone else enjoys it, then
And that's a
great.
gift that we give people because if we're bored, things get really dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that video you was talking about with her coming in pregnant, when she walked in, everybody knew what was coming, and they started busting out laughing. at
Yeah,
her
because
just
you
being
already
pregnant.
knew.
And the mind.
Yeah.
I mean,
feels
they
stuff.
laughed
You
when
know
he
what I mean?
ran. He got a big face and ran out, but not like they did when she walked in.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
so
The moment she walks
Yeah.
in, everybody
You got
knows.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
My favorite was when you guys she did that one video where you guys you got there on there and then you were in a van driving around and singing and doing that kind of stuff.
The last iPhone video from Ben and
Yeah,
Travis.
it probably is. Yeah.
That was. I mean, that's what kind of got. That was so cool how they just put that together and did that, and it was entertaining and stuff like that.
And
That's
half
what got,
of that was on the way to Dallas, I think.
That didn't have anything to do with country roads, Ben.
No, it didn't.
In the,
I
the
think
video.
it's in it,
David
yeah.
Shannon
David
singing.
Shannon
President
sings it.
Freed Hardeman.
Yeah, that's
But
But that's
I don't remember that.
that's kind of what got me thinking. It's like, yeah, we
Why
can
don't
do
you show you
videos
that
like
one,
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I see that.
We can do videos like that and put something together just for our youth
It,
rallies. And
it was his idea off the bat.
Yeah,
It really
so-
was.
But I appreciate you guys jumping on with us. We know that you've been busy as we have, but we just love you guys, and I've been
me too.
impressed by North End and their organization of it, and I'm sure you're like me. People come up to me and go, "Man, that's all well done." I'm like, it has nothing to do with me. I just show up. But you guys' influence is wonderful, and I guess we better stop this video because we can honestly say right now that no Travises or Kevins were hurt in the filming of this video.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks, guys.
No, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being with us for this episode of the Helping Healing Humor podcast. Be sure to download our free ebook, 28 Days of Focused Living, at benandtravis.com and receive all of our Helping Healing and Humor extra content directly in your inbox. We look forward to having you join us at the same Ben and Travis time, same Ben and Travis channel.